fuck!
Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can do it right. No! Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Alright, come on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, come on, let's do it. Yeah. Perfect. Hey, everybody. It's Shane Lee.
I fucked that up. That isn't what Shane Lee sounds like, and nobody knows who Shane Lee is. Although he has a hell of a lot more fans than I do at this point. So anyway, if you guys are watching this in the future, about 3 or 4 months from now, when I've usurped PewDiePie as the most subscribed to and richest YouTuber on Earth, then you can kind of skip this one, because basically all I'm doing is gonna tell a couple anecdotes about how this is probably the most important game in my life, and then probably going to jump cut a bunch of times I go, fuck! Because I really am not very good at this game. And that's it. It's basically a test video. The first anecdote I will tell is how this is probably the most important game I've ever played, because it is the absolute first. And when I say absolute first, I don't mean, oh, yeah, I kind of played it, you know, once or twice. Like, it was literally the first game. I remember it very clearly, because what would happen is my mother would take me to Wally World with, you know, when she went shopping, which was pretty frequently. I don't think that matters. Frequency of going to Walmart is unfortunately a trait I have in my adult life. Anyway, the point is, at the back of the store, well, actually it was in the middle of the store. I remember that Walmart layout very, very clearly, which is pretty sad. But, oh yeah, I forgot you can't jump over, get the points. Anyway, in the middle of the store was the electronics section, which basically was the video game and VHS section. I think Laserdisc showed up at some point too. But anyway, at the edge of this section, and then later on in the middle of it, there was a demo of the SNES, which is something I really don't think any companies still do today, where they have a console set up and you can just walk up and play it. You know, they have the controllers on the end of these like stiff, I don't know, anti-theft arms or whatever you would, okay, I forgot about that. You know, like stiff-armed controllers and shit. You can just stand there and stare at the weird angled, you know, screen and play to your heart's content, where your mom goes and gets a few minutes of relief away from you, the terrible child that you are, just like mine did. And, of course, the Walmart I went to never changed out the cartridge, and I think they did once actually, changed it to Mortal Kombat at some point, and which of course my mom didn't really seem to care about, but they changed it right back. It was basically just this game for like years, and so that was my only experience playing this until I met a friend who I'm not going to call by name, but he lived in the house behind mine. And he had a Super Nintendo, and occasionally I'd come to his house and we'd play this game. And that's really it. I never owned a Super Nintendo until 16-bit went out of fashion. And the first system I ever had was actually a Sega Nomad, you know, the portable Genesis. And then I think it was like when I quote-unquote graduated elementary school as a gift. Also, because it was probably like $10 on sale then, I ended up with an actual Super Nintendo for the first time in my life, and, excuse me, I did not own a copy of this game. Until like 2 days later, when I talked to my friend, and he was like, yeah, sure, you can have it. Because he didn't give a fuck about it. I think he had like a PlayStation, or maybe he, you know, had grown up like some people do and realize that video games are a complete waste of your time and you should never ever play these even as a child. And I, however, was a pathetic loser and never wanted to stop having fun. And that has really haunted me to this day. I mean, look at what I'm doing now. I want to kill myself. Anyway, the point is, yeah, he gave it to me, and so it was this and Yoshi's Island, and that was all I really owned for Super Nintendo. What was I gonna say? It was nothing important. Oh yeah, I ended up with like 1 billion fucking 16-bit games that I don't think I ever really played, because I basically just played this. Now, that isn't to say I'm any good at it today, and wasn't any good then. Never will be. Yeah, that's really... that's the anecdote. It's the first video game I ever played. I played it in a Walmart when my mother was out shopping for like toilet paper and shit like that, and yeah, I guess it's time for the fuck jump cuts. Just, fuck! Fuck! You know that thing you can do where you... I don't know what I'm doing. God damn it! I'm clipping. Why am I clipping? I'm sorry. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. If you can hear the sound of my voice at all, I'm sorry. Fuck! Hey! I did it. Holy shit. I don't know what to say. Fuck! Like, oh my god. First time I ever played Duke Nukem 3D. Actually, I didn't play it. First time I was ever exposed to it, and then it became an obsession of mine, sort of like this. Fuck! Anyway, there's this guy playing Duke Nukem 3D at a demo computer at this Super Mega Gratuitous Savings Incorporated store, and I was like, oh, okay, what game is this? And he said something with a D, like Duke Nukem. And right next to the computer is this game called D. And I was like, Duke, is this it? I was like, what was that game again? He's like, Duke Nukem 3D. I didn't hear it right, and I was like, oh, okay. And I looked at that box. I looked at some other boxes. None of them said anything like what he said, but they began with a D, or what he said began with a D, so it had to be this D game, but it didn't look anything like it. And I asked him like 3 or 4 more times, because I was a fucking weirdo kid, and he was very patient with me. I don't remember him being upset, but I kind of feel like he should have been. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, Duke Nukem 3D, yeah. So I did play it, but I had the Duke Nukem 3D Atomic Edition from Walmart, which meant that it was censored. That's right, no titties and no giblets. None. And that's the Duke Nukem 3D I played and adored for years. I even found it and loaded it up on like DOSBox or something relatively recently from the disc. Boy, I suck at this game. In retrospect, it's really funny to me that they censored it the way they did, because all they did was just make the sprites see-through. The strippers were still there. All the blood and guts was still there. Corpses were still there. They were just like rendered as a see-through. You know what? I'm done. This is it.
It's good. Alright. Bye.
Fuck!